Good morning at 4:30 in the afternoon. I hope everybody's doing well. Happy signing day. Just before I get started, I'm gonna reserve this time in this press conference just towards the young men that we're signing in this class. The guys that have been processed. There's still a couple of forms that we will be waiting on, and surprise some more guys here in the next few days. I'm gonna kind of push back any staff questions, personnel. Obviously, that's a part of transition for us, but we'll have announcements, potentially another press conference here at a further date to really address all issues when it comes to staff. I want today to be focused on the young men that are joining our program. And very, very excited about the group. We have 15 guys at this time that are official newcomers to Florida State football, and definitely excited about this group. And I think that as you go through a season, it's been a season of challenge, a season of change, and it's been definitely a remarkable journey with building relationships, pouring into individuals, identifying needs. Of guys that can come in, I think make a great impact to the program. I think there's a lot of guys on this list that will be immediate impact players, have a chance to really let their presence be felt. Not only with their athletic skill and talent, but really just the mindset, the maturity of who they are, the drive that they have. And I think it'll be a wonderful complement to a lot of the returning players that we have coming back. And as you look at the list, we hit a variety of different positions, but size jumps off at you. I mean, we got great length in this class. It was something that we knew we needed to address. We wanted to make sure that that's something that we continue to push upon. I thought that was something at times this year where we could be better, and that was something that we wanted to basically add into the program along with the playmaking ability. And as you look over the years and making sure that we're continuing to grow, in the guys that we're bringing in, I wanted the playmakers. I wanted guys that there's not as many projections in this year's class. These are guys that I think are very well established in what they've done. They are guys that I do think will come in and have opportunities to grow and develop throughout their journey. But I mean, these are guys that I think are definitely a special group of proven playmakers, and you're definitely you're excited about what they'll be able to do early in their careers, whether it's a junior college player, whether it's a freshman that's coming in. I think these guys are definitely an exciting group to be able to watch with great size. Great ability, and I think you'll be dynamic players within our program. I've got to give thanks to everybody involved in this process, from our academic team to our recruiting team, to professors that are within campus, to all of our coaches that spend countless hours in building relationships, to everybody around this university that help put on display what it is to be a Florida State Seminole, and the countless hours of investment, and just taking the time to paint a vision for what the future holds for each and every one of these young men. I thank you I thank the recruits that you obviously have signed here today, but I also thank the ones that have given us opportunity. And there's some remarkable young men that have made choices to go elsewhere and obviously forge their journey, but they gave us a wonderful chance to build relationships, to identify guys that obviously we're really excited about adding to the program, and then obviously guys that I think chosen what they felt was the best fit for them. So it's been a different year just because of how this signing day falls right after the season, especially with having a couple of open positions within our staff. And I think there's some challenges that presented itself, but the commitment from these guys that have signed today, some at positions where we don't currently have a position coach, It's the belief in who and what we'll be able to do, and really just the overall this program and where it's going. And a lot of excitement with a couple of the hires that we've made, and I think there's going to be a great deal of momentum as we're pushing forward.
All right, first question will be Chris, front row to your left.
Kevin Wynn's a young man that you had committed for some time, but you had to battle to the buzzer to keep him. Just what is he potentially for you guys, and how good of a class do you like around him?
I mean, he was definitely one of the guys throughout this process that has been pinpointed, I would say, last couple of years. And to see a guy with his size, he's got tremendous explosive, get off. He's such an impactful player. The way that he moves, I mean, he's unlike anybody else in the country, in my opinion. He's just he's so explosive. And as we transition into a new year, and obviously we're going to attack on defense. That's going to be something that we're going to do. And he's somebody that we've identified that is the greatest trait. I think he's listed at 320. Might be a little bit more than that, but definitely excited about the playmaking ability that he brings into this program. I think that he will have a chance to make an early impact. Obviously, when you're playing in the trenches, that's a hard position to transition. But I mean, he's got the skill set and definitely the mentality that it takes to be able to have a chance to do that. So really excited about being able to hold on to Kevin, and it was a battle. And I think Odell did a wonderful job throughout it. Building a relationship with everybody around. I love the young man. I was on the phone with him late last night, and so he told me he was solidifying that commitment, and just so excited about what he's going to bring into this program, on and off the field, because he is a young man that is, he is the total package. And for what he does in between the white lines is special. Who he is, outside of them is just absolutely remarkable.
All right, next will be Ira, second row on your right.
You mentioned the length, especially at the skill position, receiver, tight end. Was that something that you guys were seeking, or those were guys you liked that worked out that way?
No, I mean we wanted to go big. I mean to say it that way. Adding Jordan, being able to to go through and see what he did. Tariq, who joined the class here, I think it was last night verbally, obviously signing here today. I mean, that's 6'5" and 6'7". We've had a lot of success with guys of that size, and just the matchup problems that can create, and the playmakers that they are. And that's you see on film what we've asked guys to do here, and yes, do they have a high ceiling? Do they have high potential? But I think they can come in and really be able to address a need, for what Coach Malzahn's looking for what we've been accustomed to seeing, and excited about just the total package of what those guys can be. I think one of the stars of the class is Chase Lofton. He's been our top target. He's been the guy that we've wanted. As this thing has gone through, building a relationship with him. Getting him on campus, it was no doubt that the playmaker in space, he is a hybrid and can really do it all. He's one of the toughest matchup problem, I think players in the country. And I mean, he's got great speed, great playmaking, great hands, and then, he's also got a great deal of toughness that, when he has to come inside the box, I mean, you can feel him there as well. So, and then he's just a remarkable person, and he has been true through the process. I think Chris Thompson did an outstanding job building that relationship, being able to paint the picture, and he's going to be a guy that we're very, very excited about coming in. And then also in the defensive backfield, being able to, we've got three defensive backs that have joined the program, all with great length. I mean, Zay Thomas, just a corner from American Heritage. I think he's going to be an outstanding player, very versatile in coverage and what he can do, playing up, playing off, getting his eyes to the quarterback, and he'll put his pads on you. Definitely, it is special too with him. A member of the Seminole tribe of Florida. I mean, being a part of this class, what a remarkable story. And as I've told him throughout this journey, he earned it. He did it. He's come up to camps. He put himself in a position and really was a key target in the secondary, somebody that we wanted to have a part in being a leader of it. You sit there and you look at Max, I think he is the versatility that he brings. Max Redmond, I think he is just a guy that can really play all 5 positions. He's got length, he's got versatility. He was a guy that, a few years back I saw in a camp, and, I think he's pushing, 6'1", 6'2". He's just, such a diverse skill set, and, I think he has the ability to play some corner. I think he has the ability to play safety, playing deep, or, being able to force himself into the box. And then, today, being able to get Shamar, that was a top target for us. And, he's gone through this process, and, he's a guy that, of all the guys we had came to camp this summer, he was the one that stood out to me as much as anybody. And, he's been a great player on the field. When I got to see him in person, it was no doubt. And he's been a top target, somebody that we absolutely wanted and needed in this class. And I think he's going to be a special player for years to come, and has a chance to definitely make an early impact with what we're doing here. And when you see, another 6'2" corner, that's something that, we've really tried to address over these last few years. And Coach Rattan's doing a great job at developing those guys, and it's kind of speaking for itself.
All right, next will be Kurt, front row on your right.
We've talked a little to Kevin Sperry, I guess, here, his side of the story about how that kind of came together late. I guess, what can you speak to about your relationship with him, and what stands out about his skill set? Obviously, a guy who played at a high level of high school football in Texas.
I love Kevin, and he is, he came here, I want to say it's 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and I'll never forget the first time I saw him out here on the practice field, and going through our quarterback camp. And you heard about this young man from Dallas that was going to be here, and he just exploded throughout the course of the day. It was impressive watching the ball jump off his hands. The accuracy, the kind of precision in the passing game that he showed. That young in his career, it really just, the ball jumped out of his hand. That's when we offered him. I was very confident in what his career would be, and he's definitely not proving me wrong. He is you look at what he did last year in the state of Oklahoma, leading his football team. This year he's in the semifinals. They're in the highest classification there in Dallas, in the state of Texas. What he does with his arm is special. What he does with his legs, it really is. It makes him very dynamic. And when the opportunity presented itself, for us, it was obviously an opportunity to reach out to guys that we thought were going to be a great fit for our program. And Kevin is an absolute home run for us. And so excited about bringing him in, for the player, but also the young man. His family, even early in the process before he committed to another school, came out multiple times. We've got a chance to really build a relationship there, and the good Lord guided us back to being together. And he's going to be one heck of a quarterback here at Florida State.
All right, next will be Matt, third row on your right.
You talked about Chase Lofton. I think he's actually the first player to ever come here from Nebraska. What does that just say about Florida State, the brand, all that kind of stuff, that you can go to a state like that where it's hard to take kids out of state and get them to come here?
Yeah, Chase is a special player. Being one of the top players, in that state, and choosing to come here is, it's exciting. And it's there was a lot of pressure, and a lot of schools pursuing him, but he knew what he wanted, and was very specific in looking at offenses, coaches, position coaches, opportunity, and I just think it really all came together. And it was a position of need. It was one that we needed. Obviously we got Landon, and obviously even Amari, who when Amari came here, was signed as a defensive end, but knew he would be an athlete. And as he came in as a true freshman, wanted to get him on the field. He earned that, and as a role at tight end. And we're gonna really look at him a lot here this spring at defensive end as well, because I still think he can do both. And with that opens even a greater door of opportunity for Chase to come in and have a chance to make an immediate impact, because I think he absolutely has the skill set to do so. And there'll be a transition, but he identified what he wanted, and and so did we. And for that to be able to stay true throughout this process, I mean, I'm definitely excited to coach him.
All right, we'll go to your left, third row to Jordan.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit earlier, but how tough was it recruiting down the stretch without a full coaching staff? And then along those lines, how important has Coach Malzahn been just in the 40 hours to kind of finish out this class?
No, I mean, there are definitely, real challenges. And, especially when you're, the high profile players that we're on, I mean, it is, it's every day for the last 3 years. I mean, that it's been building and working, and then when there's change, I mean, it's hard. And I'd like to tell you that, that we were able to overcome it in every situation we weren't. And, I respect those young men for the time they gave us, for the opportunity to build relationships, and some of them chose to go in different places where maybe they had a little bit more familiarity with what that looks like, and that's fine. And it's part of the the challenge when there is change. And but I'm definitely excited for the guys that we have, and what that's meant, and for the ones that believe in not only the place, the people that are in those rooms, or our current players, and then obviously what I'm going to be able to do in bringing the right assistant. And there's some positions that it would have been great to have somebody in position, but it's all about being right, and that's our number one focus. What is the right fit for us when it comes to the leader of each position? And then I think we've hit a grand slam with our coordinators. I think it's definitely exciting for what the choices that we've been able to make, and what's ahead.
All right, we'll go to the second row for Liam.
Coach, I'm not sure if you've ever had twins on the roster, but Mandrell and Daryl. Just, what do they bring, and how excited are you to have them come into the class?
Those are two guys that you talk about potential growth. I mean, they've done that throughout the high school process, and to see what they're two guys I was really high on their potential. They'd come to camps. You saw the movements, you saw the ability, but what was the size going to look like? What was that? How are we going to project that moving forward? And just the way that they have progressed through their high school career. I mean, it was we got a few games into their senior season, and those two guys became priorities for us, and that was I was excited to be able to get them here, and they were committed to another university, and it's good to have Coach Malzahn here and some familiarity of that. But I mean, those guys did make the decision of to come be at Florida State, and it's because of the opportunity. But I am really excited about what their future is going to be. The opportunity to come, and they bring a physicality as well as an athleticism with great size. They're going to be impactful forces on our defensive line.
All right, Chris.
Bruno has mentioned that he may kick and punt for you. Is that the expectation? Also, just talk about him as a kid.
No, I mean, he's special, and obviously in today's age with the new 105 roster count, that's going to be in times where you could potentially carry more kickers and as walk-ons over that. I wanted, and I think Coach JP's done a great job in that room. Coach Barfield, in identifying the right guys. I mean, I think we got the next two stars, are guys that have been here within the program, but I wanted to bring somebody that was absolutely going to challenge and to be able to challenge early to compete for all things. And Bruno is one of those special players that is a combination. I think I don't know rankings, but I think he's 2 and 3, in whether kicker and punter or somewhere close to that. But he was the number one guy for us because of that versatility, and to be able to know that he'll come in and you have a chance to compete and push in both positions. We'll be able to surround that specialist group with really a talented group, and have great depth and great competition. And so there is a standard of excellence when it comes to that. Here those positions here at Florida State, and definitely fired up for Bruno being a part of it.
All right, we'll go second row on the right, Corey.
You're talking about the quarterback and how he looked those couple of days in camp 2 years ago. how much do you put into what you see in those first 2 or 3 days, and then like, okay, he did great out here, this isn't a real game, let me go see what he looks like on film, let me go see his stats. How much does that play when you're looking at all these guys at a camp, the production they actually have in
Yeah, I mean,
a
you have,
football game?
yeah, I mean, you have to produce, and they're still gonna play the position. And, you know, there's plenty of guys that can go out there and look great in a camp, but they can't, it doesn't transition, you know, like you want it to. Now, there's been some players that, you know, I watched in camp, and there was no doubt in my mind what it was gonna be. I mean, the talent, the ability to, you know, Luke was, I mean, we offered Luke, and he had played some at quarterback, but I mean, he was a starting, you know, receiver and safety his sophomore year. And we offered him before his junior season, and, you know, his mentality, the ability, you know, I had no doubt what it would look like. We accepted his commitment, and he goes and wins the state championship his junior year, becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the country his senior year. You know, I believe in, I know what it looks like, and I've got a lot of confidence in evaluating that position, especially when you get to see those guys early, and then the progression of how they ascend. And I think, you know, Kevin was one of those guys. I mean, you watched him, you were excited, and that's obviously why we offered him. You know, we did get a commitment, you know, pretty early in the process in that year's class, but he did everything I expected him to do. And, you know, as you know what you saw early, and then, you know, the opportunity, you know, rises to say, all right, well, these, you know, who is it that you're gonna target? Who is it that's gonna be the right fit? And you go and you watch his film, and, you know, for what he did on a practice field with his arm, to what you watch, the combination of what he can do with his arm and his legs, I think this guy's got a chance to be the real deal. And, you know, I'm grateful to have him in our class, and, you know, he's gonna be, like I said, he's got a chance to be special.
We'll go to Jerry, front row on your right.
Coach, how many of these, which of these players will be able to enter in January?
Oh, yeah, it's a good question. I would say I don't have that in front of me. There's a couple of them that, you know, we'll announce, you know, as well, but I mean, it's gonna be a good number of them. I would say, I think 10 plus of these guys will be here. I don't have it on my top of my head right now.
All right, we'll go to Nick, third row.
Coach Ethan Pritchard is a kid that's been committed to this program for a long time, and he never really wavered in that commitment. Just if you could speak a little bit on him as a person, and also just how versatile he is on the field, having played a little bit of safety, playing a little bit of linebacker. What are you looking for him to do?
No, he is I've watched Ethan since his freshman year, and I'll never forget the first time I walked into the weight room, his freshman year, and just talking to his coaches, and, you know, it was in January, and just, I remember his coach at the time pointed out, he goes, that one right there is gonna be one to watch. He was playing safety, came over to 7-on-7 that summer, you know, we got a chance to see him, we offered him, his body's continued to grow, you know, he is a fast and athletic linebacker that plays with a pissed off mentality, and I love it. I mean, he is just, he's about all the right things. He's had a lot of people that have come in and tried to sway him one way or the other, but he's been committed to Florida State. This is it's a great and special relationship with him, and just so very excited about you know, what he's going to bring. And even as we you know, look at, you know, different elements of what we can do defensively, I mean, he could be one that has a chance to do some great things early, just because of his speed and power. But excited about Ethan.
All right, next will be Aslan, back right.
Coach, I feel like the more I read up on this, the more confused I get, so if you could help out. What's changed with the national letter of intent, and just, I guess, whether that's a binding thing? Has anything changed in terms of the way guys sign and earn?
Well, they don't sign a national letter of intent anymore.
Does that change anything at all?
They sign a grant and aid, so they're tied to that, and that's really where the NLI, which one is it? NLI, okay, very good. Well, they both need money now, right? So it doesn't really matter, but, so that one's been removed, and, you know, obviously the grant and aid is basically replaced, you know, that, and so it's gonna be a lot of different dynamics, and I don't think it's as it moves forward, there will be, you know, obviously agreements, there will be, you know, all things between schools and players, and, you know, there's a new age, but you just eliminate one of the sheets of paper. You don't have to circle AM on it and send it back, and you know, all the different dynamics that it would take getting things clarified. So,
We'll go back to Jordan on your left.
Coach Tylen Coleman, a JUCO prospect, is he a guy that you think could make an impact early on in his career?
I do, and he was one that we saw early this fall, and, you know, looking at the defensive tackle position, you know, really was looking for, you know, length and athleticism, and, you know, he's not the tallest guy in the world. He's got 34-inch arms. I mean, he is active, plays extremely hard. You know, one of the things, my favorite things of watching him on film is just the redirection, and, you know, to be, you know, 300 pounds, you know, to move the way he moves, and, you know, just the effort that he plays with, he absolutely loves it. And, you know, to be able to get him out of the state with, you know, in-state pursuit was big. And, you know, definitely, you know, he's here this last weekend. You know, really, he made a great impact on me, just, you know, having the conversations of what it is that he's looking for, what it is that he wants to do, you know, his drive and passion. Great questions. You know, he really sees this as a big picture experience for him. Yes, as a player, but also, you know, his growth as an individual, and, you know, I think he's got a chance to really be a good player here.
All right, go back to Ira on your right.
You mentioned earlier, the challenges with the coaching situations. How were you able to keep Mario without him knowing who his position coach was gonna be, and then also flip, another player?
Yeah, you know, Mario is remarkable. I think, you know, Gabe Pritchard did a wonderful job with, you know, both of those guys. And really, you know, worked his tail off, and, you know, throughout the year, and just building a relationship. And, you know, obviously what change is hard, but, you know, those guys believe in the program. They believe in the leadership of what we're doing, and they believe in the opportunity that's here for them. And, you know, Mario's a remarkable young man, such great position flexibility. I mean, he plays the game with the right mentality. You know, watching his body grow, he came over to multiple camps. He came and made a great investment to learn more about the university, learn more about the opportunity, and then it's been a great benefit for me to watch him grow. And, you know, I've got no doubt in what his future will be. I think he's extremely athletic, you know, a powerful young man. And then, you know, being able to add Sean is just, you know, another guy that came to camp like this summer, and when he left camp, I mean, he became a absolute target for us and what we wanted to try to get. You know, he was committed to another school. Obviously, multiple schools have been recruiting him throughout this process, and it came down to, you know, a tough decision. But you know, he believes in who we're going to be able to attract here. You know, the opportunity that's in store, and, you know, just fell in love with Florida State and the guys that are here.
All right, we'll stay there for Corey.
You've got 15 on this sheet of paper. Do you think it'll be in the neighborhood of 20 by the time the week is over?
You think we've got opportunities there. I mean, there's, you know, I would definitely say, you know, 19, 20 should be a good look.
Because the calendar is so goofy, immediately you go into essentially portal season. How much do you try, I know we're talking about the high school kids, but how much do you try to, when you're recruiting high school kids, you're also thinking about portal additions? And how many, do you even have a number of how many portal guys, what this roster overhaul could look like?
You know, you try to always have projections. Now, I mean, while we're doing this, I met with like 30 players of our current players. I met with another, I mean, even like 15 today. And, you know, there's some real conversations happening. You know, some guys were gonna be, you know, going to explore other options and going in the portal themselves. And, you know, this is it's one of those things that's kind of a fluid situation on, you know, what your roster is going to look like, what it's going to be. You know, there's some extreme challenge that's being issued in our meetings. And, you know, like I said, after our last game, I mean, it's getting right. This is going to be like, you're either in or you're not. This is, you know, there's going to be a sense of desperation, right, when it comes to our daily focus of what it's to take to go win and to get this program back. And that's what these guys that signed today are signing up for. That's what the guys that, as we go into pursuit for any other additions into our program, and it's gonna be a heck of a ride. And I'm very, very excited about how my meetings are going, you know, just the edge, the mindset, you know, kind of the thrust of energy, that has come into the program. I mean, this is gonna be, it's big, and, you know, the real ones will be here, and that's what it's gonna take.
Jerry?
As I look at this list, there's about half of these guys, almost half of them, that were somewhat of a surprise or a pleasant surprise that they committed to that. How long ago did you know this was coming together?
You know, there's some of these, you know, it was, there were some pleasant surprises on our end. There were some guys that, you know, we've had a pretty good sense of, and, you know, it's kind of a good mix of, you know, of all of it. And, I mean, we've worked really hard. We've tried to, you know, we're not looking to add bodies. And that's, as you sit there and you go through it, there's no position, you know, that we just need to sign a guy. We are trying to identify, all right, what is it that this young man brings to our program that can help contribute as fast as possible, but also fill the needs that we have, to get our program and to push our program forward. And, you know, I think that, you know, some of these guys have had, you know, different dynamics in their own, recruitment of, you know, what they're looking for, what they want it to be, and, you know, they see the opportunity that's in store here. They see, you know, what we're doing, where we're going, and, they have a lot of excitement, as we do, of how this can all come together, and, you know, obviously what the future holds for them.
Okay. Matt, third row.
You just mentioned it, you said it after the Florida game as well, how you said like this is gonna get fixed. How much do some of these pleasant surprises and that kind of stuff show fans or show people outside of the program that this is the start of that getting fixed?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you can take it how you wanna take it. I mean, my focus is going to get this team better, and, you know, I hope the fans are excited. I am. I'm excited about, you know, the guys that we're bringing in, players, coaches. I mean, it's got a chance to be a really, really good group, through a challenging circumstance. And, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, we talked about it throughout the season. I'm asked about it all the time of like, you know, what's the message? What's it gonna be? It really is the same. I mean, you gotta choose to wanna be a difference. You gotta choose to wanna be, you know, a spark, whether you win a crap ton of games or whether you don't. I mean, that's what you have to come into it with. I don't want anybody coming in here just to be a part of this program. I want them to come in here and I want them to fight to go make this program better. And, you know, as a fan, when you see, you know, those type of decisions, when you see that type of belief in what and who is there, I mean, you should get excited. And, you know, I think when you look at and you see the coaches that are joining our program, which, you know, I already said I'm not gonna get into them, but, you know, in the conversation, but when you see the choices saying that, no, that's where I wanna be, like, that's exciting. And when players see that, they fuel off of it. And so there's a buzz within the program, and there needs to be. And it's gonna take every bit of that passion, that energy, that mindset to go and attack what's ahead. And so, you know, there's gonna be, there will be more that are joining the program, and there'll be some that'll be leaving the program. And, you know, I respect them all, but the ones that are here, it's, you know, it's definitely time to go get it.
All right, last one, Pyro.
I just wanted to follow up on that topic. When you're having those conversations, and if guys tell you with their words that they're ready for what you want to do, but if you haven't always seen it in their actions, how do you make those decisions?
Some of them, they don't have the choice. I mean, it's, if I haven't seen it in any action or I don't believe it, then they're not gonna be here. It's that. If I know they have it in them and I've seen the flashes of it, and now it's time to you know, take that step, and it's time to prove it with the work. I mean, you'll know through spring. Just thank God there's another opportunity at the end of it for those that change their mind or maybe can't live up to that. They'll have a path to do something else. But I believe in the players that I have. I really do. And, you know, we've got a lot of great young men that you know, they're pissed off with what we've done. And, you know, we all have ownership in it, and, you know, it's time to go get it right. And we can sit here and talk about it. We can sit there and, you know, try to, you know, say all the right things, but I mean, it's gonna come down to the actions. And, you know, for the class that we put together, for the work that we put into recruiting, for the work we're putting in our evaluation, the work that those players are putting into, to the off-season program that is ahead, I mean, you know, it won't be hard to spot, because if it doesn't show up, then, you know, they'll choose to go do something else.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.